the plan is to actually get the caravan onto the back of that one. I've managed to open up the control unit for the winch, and I'm just going to use some magic because I do wonder whether there's maybe just a little bit of moisture that's got into there. It's not really doing as it should. So now what I've done, got this remote control one, and we have control by remote. Now that is very exciting. So I'm actually going to try and put that cable onto the winch, and maybe I've got a chance of putting that caravan up here. Well, hey, do I look excited? I am. Keep getting SD card errors on the other things, so let's go again. I have attached the Toyota to the winch and I've welded that on. And what I'm going to try and do now is put a little bit of tension on it and see whether I can't get things to sort themselves out. Let's just see what happens if I do this. Nothing. Right. Do we have power? I might have fried it by using the welder, of course. Plan B if this is not working. Tarnation. See whether this works now. I'll put some clamps around the battery, which has improved the connection, hopefully. Nice. Well, that actually worked out rather better than I had hoped. So, better detach the Toyota and go and see whether I can get the caravan up here, I guess. Wish me luck. This might not be a good thing to be doing. Right, that'll do. Now, that is pretty pleasing. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get the ramps out and shove underneath the tyres and then pull that up the hill. I shall see. So I must confess, I have been looking on YouTube to see whether I can find any videos of anyone mad enough to actually put a caravan on the back of a truck like that, and well, it's probably a crazy idea because I simply haven't found anything. Maybe just not looked hard enough. So if you are planning on doing this, well, you might be about to learn from my mistakes. I'm going to see what I can do to extend the ramps for the truck, 'cause the angle of attack is a little bit sharp at the moment, and I really want to just drag the brand new cable across the bed of the truck, and I'd rather not absolutely shag the caravan. And I'm also trying to bear in mind the fact that I've got to get it off at some stage, and that in itself could be rather interesting. Here we go. I've got one ramp here that hopefully is going to guide the jockey wheel. I've obviously got the transporter ramps, and I've got a couple of other ramps which probably won't be strong enough and will break, but at least will give a couple of inches of clearance as the van, fingers crossed, comes up this ramp and hopefully doesn't slide straight through the front. I've put the little feet down at the back just to hopefully prevent this being ripped off, but it's only a couple of screws that hold it, so I guess it won't be the end of the world. So I can hook the winch on, and yeah, well, we'll see whether we break a caravan, a winch, a truck, and possibly myself, which I suppose is good content. Anyway, so that's plan A, and plan B is to go home and drink tea, because I don't really have one at the moment. Don't celebrate too soon, Stephen. Jockey wheel. How was it for you? I have to say that was far, far, far scarier than loading a car. Still looks bloody scary, frankly. But it's loaded, which is enormous, frankly. I've just got to steer her across here a little bit. But before I do anything else, I am actually seriously going to strap her down, because there's a little bit, you might have seen the wheelie, there's a little bit of movement in there. Bit loosening in the bow. So it's actually getting on in the day now. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to put a block of wood underneath there, because obviously the jockey wheel's not going to be fantastic. I'm going to strap her down properly over the wheels, swear her to train, and that should be okay. I'll probably put these little feet down just onto blocks of wood, just to take a little bit of the inevitable wobble out of the caravan, because it won't really need its own suspension as we're going down the road. But there we go. I will be back tomorrow to do that, and I guess that's just the next part of this video. So I don't know why I'm waffling really. Bloody aeroplane going over now. Look at these guys. Hello, goat. Good morning to you. Hello. Look at your collar. Beautiful. The caravan, I just want to pull over literally 1 inch to get it properly centered. So I'm doing the old time-honored tactic. Jack up one side and attach. It's moving the wrong way. Attach the thing to a tree and pull it over. There we go. That's beautiful, isn't it? Right, next stage of botched and scarper. I'm using a nice sturdy tree and an old ratchet. I'll see whether I can just pull it this way a bit. I'll be a bonus if I can. Oh, this isn't working as intended. I'm not quite sure how to go about this. I really would rather that it was absolutely perfectly centered. Maybe it's come over a little bit. It was touching that before. Maybe I'll just crank it up a little bit more. See whether that does anything. Yeah, that's scary. Nice. Okay, that is actually perfectly centered. So in theory, if I let this down, job's a good one. Right. Good, right, let that off. We'll get some wood underneath there and get that winch cable off so it can be held down. Exciting. This is as good a reason as any to always save your offcuts, frankly. Let's get these underneath there. Brakes. Nice. Okay, how far is the caravan going to travel? What I think I'm going to do is take this one out. Out you come. This disengage that just enough to hook it over there, because I really don't fancy it going too far. Ugh. Nice. Brake cable also onto the winch line. Can't hurt, can it? With any luck, I'll now be able to lower the caravan off the jockey wheel and onto these blocks of wood. So, let's get you out of the way. Oops. Stephen, you're trying to go too fast. So, anyone that's actually transported caravans before, you can tell me whether you think this is the way to do it or not. And perhaps if you are planning on doing this, you might see at least a way of getting past all of this. Pretty tight. We'll come back and check all of these once I've got everything else done. But for the moment, that should do. So I've got blocks. Jockey wheel is off the ground, therefore not supporting any weight, and I've got this first line holding the front down. So I'm going to go and faff and find some points underneath the chassis, connect up some of the other lines, and then I'll show you what I came up with. Hopefully be alright. Have a look and see what you think to that. Obviously that's not ideal, but we got this one holding down the front, the A-frame, which is on the block, so I actually moved those. I've got the winch. I'm going to put a little bit of tension onto that just to really hold that down, and then I've got the wheels either side. That's not perfect, I might just redo that so it looks pretty. Got those really torqued up, and then obviously that's both sides, and then I've got these ones crossed for underneath the chassis to hold it down as low as possible. So you can let me know in the comments. I always try and go from the point of view that if this was following me down the road or coming the opposite direction, I'd really want it to be as well attached as possible. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I had a bit of a bounce in the suspension still, but it's certainly taken some of it out. Don't want it to be too wibbly wobbly. So there we go. That's another little job done. And that container's looking at me now. It knows that I've got to go and fill it. That should be fun. I'm going to go and hire a van now, because although I've got all these trucks, it seems that you've never got the right vehicle for the right thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. Do the old like and subscribe, it's always appreciated, and I'll see you next time. It does occur to me that I could have saved all the hassle converting the green one and just put a caravan on the back of the thing, to be honest. So, another camper.